Hey, what's up? I'm Tech Bro here. For hardcore gamers or esports players, the right hardware can be the difference between life and death. And here Lenovo Legion Y25G-30 is exactly the solution. So today let's look into the world of esports hardware. But I will start of course with the assembly and connection. Well, we have the monitor itself, the stand and the base. Plastic top, metal inside. The stand is easy to assemble. It is inserted into the base and screwed without tools. By the way, rubber elements are clearly visible on the massive base, so that later the monitor does not move on the table. Further is even easier. The stand is attached to the monitor with snaps. On the desktop, Lenovo looks pretty strict. It can easily be mistaken for an office monitor. There are no decorations on the front, except for the manufacturer's logo on the bottom frame. Plus, control buttons on the right and a sticker with the main features on the left. A nice bonus is a retractable headset holder with a small hole for the wire if the headset is wired. A good place to store the headset, freeing up space on the table. The same applies to the stand, for which functionality comes first. The stand does its job, the panel is held well. Behind the monitor, too, no surprises. Only the gaming series logo, which glows blue when the monitor is turned on, attracts attention. The ability to adjust the position of the monitor is very important so that gamers can spend many hours playing games without tiring. Therefore, the monitor allows you to change the height of the panel in the range of 130 millimeters. The slope can be changed in the range from -5 to 20 degrees, which is also quite enough. Turn left and right 30 degrees in each direction. I also note the possibility of rotating the display 90 degrees in portrait mode. Maybe this will be useful to someone. If additional flexibility is required, a standard VESA 100 to 100 mm mount can be used. Well, let's connect. The connectivity panel is divided into two parts. The bottom group of connectors has two HDMI 2.0 inputs and one DisplayPort 1.4. In addition, a power connector, a USB Type-B, upstream, port that turns the monitor into a USB hub, and USB-C for accessories. 3 USB ports are located on the side panel next to the logo. A mouse must be connected to the topmost port to use nVidia Reflex technology. It has a corresponding mark. Nearby is an audio output jack for connecting speakers or a headset. And yes, the monitor has a pair of built-in speakers. But this is purely basic. If there is nothing else to listen to. 3 cables are included with the monitor: power, USB-A to USB-B, and DisplayPort. And of course, a 120-watt power supply. I was provided with an additional bundle of cables for testing for all occasions. I'll explain why. Ideally, this monitor should not be connected via HDMI, but via the DisplayPort. We can get the maximum 360 Hz only then. In the laptop that was available, there was no DisplayPort. This is where the USB-C to DisplayPort adapter cable came in handy. By the way, the entire bundle of wires can be neatly organized with the help of a plastic loop on the monitor stand. We figured out the case and wires. Now we can go directly to the screen. This is a 24.5-inch IPS panel. Matte finish. Full HD resolution. But this panel provides a refresh rate of 360 Hz. Plus, a 1 millisecond response time. This allows you to see the enemy as early as possible and react. Of course, not all games benefit from the maximum refresh rate. For example, Cyberpunk 2077 is so voracious that I can't even imagine what current hardware configuration will give it even 240 frames per second at maximum graphics settings. But if you install a powerful video card, then paired with some kind of shooter like CS, GO or something newer like Apex, this monitor reveals its potential. Esports players will benefit from a faster frame rate, which allows them to notice the enemy faster. Although the player himself still requires good skills and reactions. If someone plays like sleepy, like me, then no amount of technology will help. That is, the advantage in games that the monitor gives depends heavily on the gamer. this Legion is capable of much. The main feature is, of course, the refresh rate. Again, I'm not a pro. Therefore, I confess that I practically don't feel a big difference between 165 Hz in my laptop and 360 Hz here. More about the technologies used. nVidia G-Sync prevents frame tearing. A great feature that any gaming monitor should have. Another advantage is the support for nVidia Reflex technology. In short, Reflex mode improves system responsiveness and reduces input lag, the delay between your mouse clicks and your character's action on the screen. For clarity, the monitor can display the value of this delay. Probably for the most fanatical fans of statistics. In fact, this is a real mini ecosystem, which includes from mice and games to video cards and monitors. The nVidia Reflex website even has a supported list. I was paired with a Legion 5 laptop in a top-end configuration with an RTX 3070. The option, of course, is not the most powerful. Ideally, it's better to use some kind of desktop with a full-fledged 3080 or 3090. But in our time, we have what we have. I chose Apex Legends as an example game, as it supports the technology we need. There are even two options: normal reflex and with boost. Well, in the far shelf there was an Asus ROG Carries mouse supporting reflex. It's actually wireless. But for the reflex to work, I connected it via cable directly to the monitor. To that dedicated port that I mentioned earlier. In Apex, I ran and shot a little at the training level. On average, it turned out 160 to 180 frames per second. I will not demonstrate my game at full levels with other players so as not to disgrace myself. With Reflex, the situation is the same as with the refresh rate. I will not swear how divine this technology is, and due to it, I immediately became a thunderstorm online. No! I just don't get it. The on-screen menu is controlled by the buttons in the lower right corner of the display, when viewed from the front. Some of them also give access to quick settings such as brightness, refresh rate, switching the signal source. The on-screen menu has a design and structure that is quite familiar to Lenovo. A good set of features is combined with a clear layout. Of course, after the general information about the monitor, the focus here is on gaming features. Specifically, the tab with the nVidia logo. Fans of fine-tuning have something to play with. For the full operation of the monitor, it is desirable to install the driver. I'll leave the link in the description. Theoretically, you can use the Lenovo Display Control Center application for configuration. It is also called Lenovo Artery. But it didn't want to determine the monitor for me. Perhaps the problem is due to Windows 11. So, I had to use only the on-screen menu. Of course, the Legion Y25G-30 is not an office or multimedia display. But still, the IPS panel provides a high-quality picture. It is quite bright, up to 400 nits, and contrast, the color reproduction is neutral and quite pleasant. Colors do not appear oversaturated. The promised sRGB color space coverage is 99% and delta E is less than 2. But if you turn on the game mode, the gamma changes and the shadows are slightly brightened to make it easier to find the enemy. In general, the monitor can be used for work. But for me, for example, with such a diagonal, there is not enough resolution in working tasks like Photoshop. HDR support is present. But with the current level of brightness and color coverage, I would advise not to expect much. Let's summarize. The Lenovo Legion Y25G-30 is a well-thought-out gaming monitor. It is aimed primarily at a specific audience of hardcore gamers and esports players who will benefit from both a 360 Hz refresh rate and a wide range of gaming features. The price is appropriate. About $640. In any case, this monitor will be an excellent tool in the hands of a professional gamer, providing almost instant response and a feeling of playing at your fingertips. The difference with the same panels at 144 Hz will be noticeable to the pros from the very first game. Response time is minimal. In addition, nVidia technologies are supported, providing a certain advantage for gamers. However, a compatible ecosystem is required here. For casual gamers, I would recommend less extreme and cheaper displays. The released budget is better to invest in a more powerful video card. Or a monitor with a larger diagonal and resolution, but with a lower refresh rate and no reflex. That's been it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.